Okay, in the card memory routine and its variations, there are several different handlings and methods and sleight of hand techniques that I want to talk about briefly. We're going to focus just on the cards and the hands so I can really tell you what's going on. The first of the moves that will be interesting as the cards are being dealt, of course, I'm holding that top card back and dealing the one below it the second. This is a classic push-off second deal. I'll turn the card face up so you can see exactly what's happening. So you can see with the face-up card that two of hearts is just resting on top of the pack as the second is being dealt out. Now, this is kind of a hybrid push-off and strike second, in the sense that I'm using all of the techniques with the push-off, but the actual removal of the card itself is closer to how you would remove a card with a strike. Over in an L shape, my right hand comes over, it contacts the fleshy part of my thumb, this, as if I was going to take that card and sail it across the table. However, what's actually going to happen is a swimming and rhythm issue, as opposed to a real strong sleight of hand technique. Another move that's used in combination with a second deal is to peek the top card of the deck. So I'm going to teach you that in amongst this second deal sequence as they are linked. The peek that I use for this trick is above this with cards in hand. It will all make sense. So I know the top card is the four of hearts. This happens on the offbeat, and then in the course of the trick we deal the cards into a face-up pile until a spectator tells us to stop, at which point we deal one face-down card. This card is then dealt. The cards are now squared up as the second peek happens. So I now know the next one is the 10 of clubs. So another move that's used in the card memory sequence is a separation. Now there are many ways of separating cards, but taking a genuinely shuffled deck and under the guise of running through it, for example, in the context of the routines, we talk about how as we run through the cards we are trying to memorize the exact positions of each and every one of these cards, and you have a spectator time you as you do this. So as the cards are being memorized in that amount of time, the time is then checked on somebody's watch, and in that action we now have separated all the red cards from the black cards. In the context of the memory routine it will actually be odds and evens, however for the sake of explanation we're going to use red. Now another way to separate cards would be a classic prayer card. However, in the context of the routine, if you read the manuscript, I try and make that easier by using another Leonard Green separation called the 1-2 separation. This is essentially a way for us to set up a Hofzinser prayer call that makes things much easier. So we're going to begin by just shuffling this deck up. So this is a genuinely shuffled normal deck. The 1-2 separation breaks the separation down into two sequences. So now you can see we've separated all the reds from the blacks. It makes the separation much more simple. So the Leonard Green 1-2 separation and then the Hofzinser 1-2 separation, it allows me to not have to worry so much. In essence, what we're going to do here is take the card of the colour we wish to separate, let's say it's red, different ways of separating the odd cards from the even cards, all of which are mentioned in the manuscript, all of which are taught in the manuscript. So, that's the second deal, the bubble peek, and two methods of separation. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the dribble force, which is used in the manuscript. The dribble force ordinarily would look like this, with a break on the edge of the deck as you dribble the cards and time it to the spectator saying stop. I've changed that just slightly. I've taken that break away, which I think gives us a much easier handling, so we don't have to have this big gap in the card of a dribble force, and allows us to not have to have a break on any side of the deck. It also is much easier to dribble to a short card than it is to a break. So I think this eliminates many of the different problems with the original dribble force. So they're the moves, the basic moves that are used in the course of the memory demonstration and the various handlings that you can find in 49 seconds. About a few of the bonus items in the book, one of which is a forced cut and one of which is a forced shuffle. They're based on other techniques that you may have seen and may have encountered during your scholarship with Magic. However, I'm going to take them just step by step. The first thing is it's called the ribbon spread fake. The last thing is a full shuffle technique, which is the cards are given one riffle shuffle in this fashion. They're then given a complete cut, which is followed by a triple cut on the table, and that's 100% full. The action strip out shuffle, it's just a little bonus for you at speed, and without exaggerating all of the jogs, it looks like this. So that's the action triple cut. And they are the moves that you need to start memorizing cards.